You're listening to the Telltale channel. Don't forget to check me out on all social media: Patreon, Twitter, Teespring, and Etsy. All links can be found in the description or on my website, telltaleatheist.com. Well, let's just give this a read and see what it has to say. This is by Hemant Mehta on the Friendly Atheist blog, written March 20th. It says, in case you're wondering how some religions are coping with the outbreak, just look at the Jehovah's Witnesses to see how absurd reactions can get. In a recent video featuring governing body member Stephen Lett, he absolutely delights in the disease because he sees it as a signal that Armageddon is imminent. Hallelujah. So here is a quote from the video. So the events unfolding around us are making clear more than ever that we're living in the final part of the last days. Undoubtedly, the final part of the final part of the last days. Shortly before the last day of the last days. That is a tongue twister. I said this in my video that released earlier today on my main channel. That is a tongue twister. I'm not really sure what kind of a weird theology they have set up here. It's really, really bizarre. Anyway, if that makes sense to you, then congratulations. Being blissfully ignorant in the wake of a global disaster must be nice. Yeah, that's really strange. But it doesn't end here. Actually, this is another article on the Friendly Atheist blog about this situation. Jehovah's Witnesses leader on the virus. Cheer up, it's gonna get worse. This was written on March 22nd. Since many of you were shocked by a recent video showing a Jehovah's Witness leader apparently taking delight in the virus, here's another one. This time, 2 clips are spliced. In the first, we hear a man explaining how 6 Jehovah's Witnesses have already died from it. The second, featuring governing body member Anthony Morris on the 148th Gilead graduation in New York last week, shows him finding a silver lining in the pandemic. Morris, here's what Morris said. I was telling the branch class yesterday, it doesn't bother me. We've been waiting for this. I've been telling them for some time now. Cheer up, it's going to get worse. Yay, more people will die. To be clear, he's not responding to those 6 deaths, which were reported after his graduation comments, but he is responding to the pandemic itself. He's excited by it because he thinks it means the end is near. There are religious people who think chaos on earth signals eternal peace. Their delusions aren't helping us respond properly to the crisis. Yeah, well said. It's extremely disturbing that they're taking this position. When all of this started, Jehovah's Witnesses were kind of pretending that it wasn't happening. They were kind of ignoring the situation. It was a lot like how they reacted when like the Ebola crisis was happening like forever ago. They weren't really putting huge emphasis on it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they canceled the memorial. They canceled door-to-door service, like, door knocking. They canceled it. They canceled everything. They canceled their assemblies, their meetings, everything. It was really, really interesting to see them folding the way they did, just out of nowhere like that. And it's like, I think Sam Harris said this like forever ago. With some religious people, there is a silver lining behind every mushroom cloud. It's like they're excited for the destruction that's going to be happening. And it's really disturbing. And the even more disturbing bit about this whole thing is the fact that Jehovah's Witnesses were like set up for societal collapse in the first place. Like they have been for like decades. They've got these sleeper cells and everything all structured out and ready to split people up into these little groups for when, the government just comes after them and wants to take them out. It's really, really crazy. And it's fascinating in a lot of ways to see how they're reacting to all of this. But it's also extremely disturbing. So